Oh, you're fast. You're fast, girl.
I've been practicing. Do not ever say I don't have talent.
She's got skills. I'm Camille.
And I'm Gretchen, and we are here with Shock Talkin'. We've had some gadget issues tonight. And I chalk it up to Satan.
We delivered the gadgets.
You don't understand the words flying out of her mouth. Disturbing.
No, I'm just a trucker.
I was praying to baby Jesus. Please don't let her hit me. Please.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Oh, Lord.
Oh, gosh.
What are we talking about?
You know what? I was reading this article today. Actually, I saw that Chelsea Handler did a post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And she was in a bikini, and it wasn't like some striking pose, you know. It was barely her face, and her caption was, "You don't know how frustrating it is to not be able to find a suit that I can fit into." And she was talking about her chest.
Yeah.
And
she was going to have a breast reduction, right?
She's debating, you know, do I do this or not? And
sure.
So I got to reading the article, and it was about body shaming. And here's what I learned, and I thought, you know what, Camille, we need to talk about this, because the problem with what's happening now, and it's mainly social media that's creating this, is it's trickling down to our children. Mm-hmm. It's trickling down to mainly our young girls.
I think boys have it too, but not as much as girls, but you're right. You're right. Yeah.
97% of women in the U.S. do not like their bodies.
What? I'm not the only one? Really?
67% of women are on diets.
Wow.
That's only what's polled. I bet you could ask.
I'm sure it's more than that.
Tomorrow, and it's going to change.
Yeah.
But the point is that we have learned to hate ourselves
from an image.
And what you do is you separate your body from your soul. So your soul goes, I don't like you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you never get to embrace who you are, because we are so full of shame.
Right. Well, and look, there's so much shame to go around. I mean, if you're raised in any sort of religious environment, we get shamed all the time, you know, for being human or sexual or anything like that. There's a lot of shame to go around. But it is troubling. I had a young girl in my office this last week. I think she is probably 10.
Oh, my gosh.
Amazing little dancer and beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with her. And she really, really, really is struggling with these chronic thoughts. And I think a little bit of it is OCD, a little obsessive compulsive, but some of this stuff just has to get out of your head. And I think people do tend to have these obsessive thoughts. I did growing up. You know, I could not quit thinking, well, if I just did this, I had to get things down. I have a checklist in my head all the time. And I realize that's probably not healthy for me.
And did you think, I will feel good about me once this and this and this is done?
Yeah. Well, and then we always grow and change. And then the truth about our bodies is we're always changing as females, okay? And we wrinkle and sag and age, and then there's spots and there's, you know, lines.
There's just always physically something, not to mention what's going on internally.
Right. Well, women are meant to evolve and change. We are we give birth. We kind of get this, and then we get taller. It's just the nature of growth.
Right.
But there isn't any sort of grace in the world for that. You know, not in the social media platform. And I think what we're talking about here is that people get stuck on this idea they got to be perfect. That was this little girl's concept. If I could just look like so-and-so, okay, and then she's perfect, and then she's going to be okay.
And the truth of the matter is, I mean, when you and I were growing up, there was not social media, and there definitely wasn't filters.
No.
You know, filters, friends, are for people our age.
Yeah, not 8.
Yeah. And when you start seeing, I mean, because I was flipping through, if y'all are wondering, why am I on the web all the time? I work at a news station, so I'm constantly looking for stuff. But anyway, and it was making fun of celebrities that have missed a few points while they were editing their images.
Airbrushing, you mean?
Yeah. And we're not talking facial stuff. We're talking slimming the body. So what do? You get a few powerful people that have a humongous following. Kim Kardashian was one that they cited several pictures.
You bet.
Which, you know what, and I will say, in defense of the Kardashians, they have made a huge movement of accepting a curvy woman.
They have, and I love that.
And they have made a huge movement. So I'm not hating on that. But what they were talking about is they left the parts that were big, and and they slimmed out the other parts.
Oh, for
So,
pictures.
The definition between curvy and fat has to do with
The waist.
The waist.
It's true. The waist, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And so what do people do? They think, well, as soon as I look like that fake image, then I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
Then maybe I'm going to learn to marriage that body and soul together, and I just might like myself.
Yeah, and maybe I'll let myself be loved at that point, or I will like myself. You're right.
Yeah, and the problem is that especially with women, and I know you will say that you've had many clients like
Yep.
this, is that if we don't love ourselves, we don't technically know how to love somebody else.
Or let a man love you. I can't tell you how many relationship challenges go on where he just loves her. You know, men, they accept you, they accept your wrinkles, and they don't really have it as bad as we do about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
The dirty little secret inside most relationships is women can only be loved as much as they love themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if we don't love ourselves, he can't love us either.
Because I do think sometimes guys go like, man, I can't win.
That's it. They
You
can't
know,
win.
because maybe like you said, they don't see, you know, and we're not just talking body shaming or body image shaming is not just about what size of a dress you are. It could be about the fact that you have wrinkles. It could be about your teeth. It could be about any physical character of you. And so when you tell yourself enough, I'm not worthy to be loved, I'm not sexy, I'm not as womanly, I know he's looking at that.
Well,
You
and then
know,
you're projecting that onto him.
yeah, and then I'm gonna say too, and I know we've talked about this in other podcasts. After a while, sometimes he gets a little fed up, and he goes, "Man, I can't win." So,
Well, the number one sexy trait, wasn't it confidence? Yeah. So no matter what you're looking like, your confidence, actually, you bring that.
yeah.
That's what's attractive to most people, by the way.
Which, if you follow Ashley Graham at all, she's all about that.
Yeah.
She does not let, you know, and we were talking today at work about getting that swimsuit body ready. Well, what is that body, and who is the person
Who decides
sitting
that?
behind somewhere in marketing that goes, this now is the perfect size? Ashley Graham will get on, of course, you know, she was the Sports Illustrated
Plus size.
first
That's
cover
right.
model. But now she's all over the place wearing, you know, tight things, showing her curves and having that such a beauty. And I think you're the same way too. You guys have such confidence that people are drawn to you,
Yeah.
not to specifics, not to, oh my gosh, I love all her jewelry. There's something about Camille that you pull people in.
Yeah.
And you have a magnet type charisma that they want to know you. Has nothing to do with, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, or she's that. It's
Yeah.
you.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I don't know that it's about looks to me. I think it's about how people feel in my space.
Yeah.
You know, and so they feel like they can be themselves. I have one young client. Again, I've got these darling, you know, teenagers and 20-year-olds, and she calls me her fairy godmother.
Aww.
I love that, and that darling.
That's not true.
So
Don't believe that.
yeah, but I just thought I think I do have.
Yeah.
People have a certain persona of me, but they all feel good in my space.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to
Yeah.
judge anybody. Yeah. And women, like my conversation to empower women, our conversation to empower women, is you work with what you got, you love it as it is, and you're going to find love. God, there's so many men on the planet. There's so many people on the planet. There isn't a shortage of love, really.
Well, and I think the most important thing is I've been single 10 years, meaning without marriage.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait to feel good about yourself by getting validated from somebody else.
No.
You don't need to wait to find a man that goes, you're sexy. You create it first here.
Yep.
Then you project it out. And sexy, you know, if we're going to go down that road, sexy has nothing to do with the size boobs you have or what your ass looks like.
It's your energy.
It is all right here. So, and I say this from experience because I came from a relationship that was based on a porn addiction.
Yeah.
And that was not me. I mean, I wasn't the pole dancer.
She isn't the porn
No.
star.
And
No.
so, but what that does to a relationship is that makes you feel like you're not good enough.
Yep.
And that person that's in your life has to go find other sources to get off on because you're not good enough.
Right.
Then what that does in addition to that is you doubt everything about yourself. I'm not smart. I'm not a good mom. I
Yep.
mean, it really
Chips away at your
takes
self-esteem. It
a
does.
hold of you.
Well, and this is where we talk about suppressive people. We talk about people that put you down, that aren't really honoring you. And I think a lot of people, it just, you get worked on. You don't really see it coming. And so you get stuck in a relationship, and then you look back at yourself and you go, I don't even know who I am anymore. I'm not even sure if I like myself anymore.
Right.
And so once you start noticing that you're slipping a little bit, I think it's critical you start having a real conversation with someone that can actually help you get out of your situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to live in this moment. Don't buy a dress that's unrealistically a size that you may never fit into.
Or I got to throw away my skinny jeans.
Bought skinny jeans this week.
From
what are you
high
talking
school.
About? You know what though? But the point is,
Yeah.
live now.
Accept yourself
Enjoy
now.
you now, because if you wait until you're whatever that image is, whether it's you want to get that facelift or you want the boob job or whatever that might be, man, you're missing out on life
That's right.
now.
Well, and how many times you look at pictures of yourself and go, man, I wasn't as unattractive or fat, or I mean, I looked pretty good 10 years ago, because you are getting older. And so you're going to look back at yourself and you're going to be more accepting of yourself back then.
Right.
Accept yourself today, right here, right now.
Even those of you that are young and maybe you've had a child, here's what you need to know. The most important thing is that you now are a mom. You gave birth to a soul. You
Gave life.
You gave life.
Yeah.
You know what? You gave life, and my gosh, your body sometimes takes a little bit of time to get back or reshape itself
And get your strength back.
Yeah.
It takes time to feel good again,
Yeah.
not just look good again, right? Yeah.
And it's not. Trust me, at that stage when you become a mom for the first time, and it just grows after that, you will never be the same. Meaning, your wisdom, your maturity, everything about you changes because now you have given life to somebody that depends on you.
Absolutely. And this is critical. I somehow picked this up along the way because I kind of realized maybe by default I wasn't going to be in the running of size 2. Okay. Now, and I'm okay with that. I realized that I actually would rather be known by my work, by my wisdom, by my knowledge, than just my looks. To me, that is so demeaning to anybody, that all they are is someone that has to look good. That it silences people, but especially when you become a mother. Like there's credibility. Okay, you've got credibility. You have credibility as a woman. So anybody giving birth is a woman, not a girl. And I do think it's important for us to feel attractive and feel sexy and all that stuff as we age and grow. But at some point, it hits a threshold where that is not all that's mattering. That shouldn't be all that matters to you.
Right.
Is just looking good. And people that get stuck in that world where it's a liability. I mean, I have compassion for you because seriously, Gretchen, I mean, your world, your income as a model, as Miss USA, I mean, a lot of this is a standard that is something you got to keep up with.
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, then you're not as credible in that arena.
You know what's kind of interesting?
But it doesn't make you less intelligent to me.
No. Oh, thank you.
Okay, I mean, and this is where I want to finish my thought there. I do think people don't. I just heard this before. You're too pretty to think, or you're too pretty to have an opinion. You can have it all, and we do have it all. Especially women can have it all, men can have it all. I hate this whole stereotype kind of crap that goes on. People can look good and sound good and be intelligent too.
Yeah, because somewhere along the line, somebody decided you can't have both or three things or whatever it is.
Triple threat.
The hard thing I noticed in my life, there's a select group of people that love pageants.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I appreciate y'all, but I don't get it, right?
Yeah.
And they never forget. They never, ever,
you
ever
have got
forget.
a following
they
for how
are
many
the
years?
most loyal
Yeah.
fans on the world. So I went to Miss USA. My daughter competed last year in 2017 as Miss Utah. And it was a big darn deal because they'd never had a former's daughter compete on this for the same title. They've had state winners, but not for Miss USA. So first time in 70-something years, 80 years, I don't know what it is.
Impressive.
And so my kids, and all of them have never been around fans with me. I've just never
lived like that so your whole world.
I just don't take them to those things, or they just never have. And so we are now at, in Vegas at this event, and people are coming up from all over the world with laminated books from 1801 of my pictures, wanting a picture with me and an autograph. And my kids are in the background, like scratching their head, going, "That's just my mom. What the hell? Why do you want that?" And then people started wanting pictures with them because they were my children. My kids freaked out. They were like,
that's
I don't know about this world, And I had to step in, and it's not a fine line, because when you're a mom, you're a mom.
That's right.
And I knew these people weren't trying to harm. They were actually just being kind and wanting to be a part of, that part of my life. But I had to protect my kids, even though some are adults. But I look back and I remember, training for Miss USA as Miss Texas. There was 4 winners in a row from Texas. So am I going to be able to pull this off? There's a ton of pressure on me. And I had done, a whole year of training, getting ready, and interviews, and I did Star Search, and I did all of these things just to physically and mentally and spiritually get me ready. And yet when I went there, and we as women, we have this disease, I went through every state in the union. And I don't have toenails like Miss Alaska. And I don't have, elbows as soft as Miss Arizona. And you go through the whole thing because
comparison.
You do.
When
game, you're in a room full of
And you've already won at this point, right?
No.
Okay, so you're winning at this point.
I'm going into it as a contestant, just like the rest of them.
Okay, got it.
But when you get there, and this is what happened to me, my director said, "Oh, by the way, we want you to wear this dress that I did wear when I was pregnant later on." I mean, it was, oh wow. "We want you to wear this dress when you get off the plane, and wear your hair in a ponytail and do not wear any makeup." Okay, I'm the 5th Miss Texas coming in, and people are all wondering, like, is she going to win? So,
really,
the airport is there full of all this press, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, Miss Texas." And that was when you could go to the gate, right? Because they didn't have security. "Miss Texas is getting off. Let's see what she looks like, And I'm walking off, and they literally go like this. "Miss Texas, could you scoot out of the way? Miss Illinois." And she comes out, and she's all decked in leather, and she just looked like $1,000,000, And so the press for a whole month wrote me off. "Miss Texas, a dog. No way will she win."
They said that.
1,000,000 to 1 odds from the Wall Street Journal.
That's pretty shaming.
No way will she win. And so, when you're 22 years old, and that's before social media.
Yeah, that is a social media at the time. Exactly.
That was, the press back then, the AP was, your social media. And now, not only do I not have the press on my side, I've got 50 other delegates that may or may not like me because I'm coming in as the new Miss Texas, and maybe she's going to win it.
Right.
So, I kept thinking, and this is the powerful thing that Camille and I, we just believe in so much, that at that moment, even at a beauty pageant, it wasn't about beauty. And it really, my experience there really wasn't about, all about winning. I was there for a whole month with the best women of their state. What an opportunity to learn from them. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. And I remember just thinking, you know what, you can't make everyone like you, but you can do what you can do, right?
Right.
So come time, and I don't mean to gobble up this whole conversation, but come time for the final night, and they announced that I won, and I was like, oh man, I'm now in the 5th, and you have certain places on the stage. You walk over here,
you gotta stand in the square.
Cameraman goes like this, smile and wave, and then you go to the middle, and you go to the end. Well, by the time I'm at this side, I realize I've got to turn around and face all of these contestants.
All these new friends.
I don't know if they're going to be happy. I don't know what this is going to feel like. And I remember turning around and walking towards them and seeing happiness and their excitement meant more to me than winning. You know what I'm saying? It really meant more to me because I cared so much about their feelings. So when we talk about these articles and, factors that can shame us, you mentioned religion.
Yeah, religion.
Which is huge. When you have a religion that says it is wrong for you to take care of yourself.
Yep. No, can't have cleavage.
You can't wear makeup, and don't you dare get your hair done or whatever. You know what? What kind of religion is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Last thing I know, God judges what's inside. Not
Well,
what's happening here.
as
if I
it
go
should
get my
be.
nails done,
As
Jesus,
it
you
should
okay?
be. Yeah, no, as it should be.
But we know.
We do know. And I do think that there's just social norms. There's a lot of social, sacred cows and traditions and stuff. But I think there is a suppression of women. That has been, that's prevalent. We're dealing with a lot of that right now.
And don't you think that sometimes when you have a beautiful woman, no matter what age or shape,
She's gonna look good
people
anything.
automatically go, she's vain and selfish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you probably had that a lot, honestly, girl.
I'm not talking about myself.
Yeah, but you have. I mean, I know you have. People automatically kind of hate on you, and they don't know you.
Motherhood
Yeah.
makes you feel mother shame that you can't
Wear a mini skirt.
do something.
Can't wear cleavage. I mean, you can't look sexy as a
Even
mama.
going to the gym. Oh, you're taken away from your children. You should be home taking care of your husband, right?
Well, and I would sit there and think that's just a skinny bitch. Okay, that's the truth. Because I was thinking, yeah, do I want to be that? That was like some weird idea I had, and I got in so much trouble when I was a kid for getting a gym membership. My
remember you
father
saying that.
had a meltdown. Now, he had just got laid off from Geneva Steel. He was not making a lot of money, and he's looking at me and my sister like, "What? Who's going to pay for that?" And I said, well, I will. I mean, I'll figure it out. And I did. So did my sister.
Yeah.
But we were in so much trouble for buying a gym membership because you want to work out, you go work out on the farm. I mean, there was so much shame around wanting to work out.
Yeah.
And then wearing those little outfits we wore, right? The tights and, we were in skimpy stuff. You have to be. I mean, you can't really wear baggy stuff to work out with.
On social media now, speaking of working out, I mean, going through my breakup with my marriage, and that was 10 years ago, but, I said to my kids, Mom, Mom needs some time. And, I was judged a lot that, oh, you're at the gym because now you're single and you're trying to get that body.
Yeah.
No, mine was all about, I need some mental
stress release.
Yeah, I need to be alone.
Yeah.
I need, and I never use my gym time as meeting people or visiting or talking. If anything, I got irritated when people try to talk to me because I'm like, I got an hour. I'm a mom of 5. I got to get to home. I get, whatever. But I watch people now at the gym, Camille, and you can tell the ones that are desperately seeking something.
Attention, yeah.
You can tell. And I've learned so much from you by kind of, instead of judging, trying to figure out where's their hurt.
Yeah.
Where's the hurt?
Yep.
And then I always go, because people make fun of people like in January that are everybody goes to the gym.
We got a New Year's
Everybody's at the
resolution.
gym.
Yeah,
But I look around and I go, man, that is a whole room full of goals, aspirations.
True. That's very true.
Factors that shame us: age. Age.
I think actresses in Hollywood would say that.
Oh man.
It's like you hit a certain age. I think even actors, and it's like, well, you're no longer the leading.
Yeah. Well, that's a very small window in that whole community. But even and I've worked with a lot of women that are like, well, this is just part of aging. There's actually many factors that can be helped. If your hair is thinning, probably your hormones are off. And you can fix that. You can stop that.
There's a health issue.
Yeah, or this is just what happens after you have a baby. Not necessarily.
Right. You don't have to accept it all.
So, I think a lot of times we just go, well, I'm going to be thrown out to pasture because I'm not 20 and I'm not dead, but I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to live over here and hopefully somebody knows that I can throw me a bone every now and then, right?
Yeah.
But we give up.
Well, if your whole world is based on how you're looking, I do think that it's a racket we are never going to win.
No.
That is, and so again, that's where I always try to inspire people. And both my kids, frankly, are not on social media. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know that I said that. They weren't prevented, but they both, especially my daughter, I've noticed that she would rather be intelligent than worry about her fashion smarts. And again, none of that was something I really directly said. But I do think that that's one of my value systems is I think people that work are more interesting. I'd love to work. I would never quit working. But I do think that as we get older and even younger girls, your value is not just based on an image. It's based on who you are as a person and your intelligence, your whole package, your body, mind, and soul,
Classic example, one of my kids had a date, it's one of my boys, and he was so excited because this girl was hot, right?
Right.
And as the date went on, all of a sudden he was like, man, none of that mattered. It didn't look good to me anymore because there was nothing there.
Yep.
There was nothing to talk about.
Yep.
You know, it was just awkward. And I want to say to you, young girls, just so you know, your looks are just a small part of the whole picture of what somebody is looking at.
And if it isn't, if it's all about the looks, you are with the wrong person.
Yeah. Run!
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So work is a place that you can be shamed. Maybe you're compared.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you're
sure.
not appreciated.
Sure.
Or maybe, you know, there's
True.
all
Very true.
kinds of things. Sex.
Oh.
How many times, you know, do you feel like, oh, I don't want to get naked in front of that person, or I don't want the lights on, or don't look at me in the shower, or, you know, I remember my granny would wake up early, put her face on before her husband ever did. And
He
that-
never saw her without makeup? Oh. Wow. That's a lot of work, Grandma.
I'm like, really?
Wow.
But that was back in the era where, you know, you got dressed up and put lipstick on before you came home from work, too.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Beaver, yeah. Leave it to Beaver. Whatever. yeah.
So how are you dealing with couples that, how do you help her have confidence in sex?
Well, look, the truth about men is sometimes they just don't care. If they're having sex, it's feeling good. That's kind of the most important thing to them. I know men are visual. It's interesting because they are really visual, but it isn't necessarily the only thing in a relationship. So love for some men is how they feel about themselves when they're with their woman.
Yeah.
And if she's got wisdom, or she's into him, or she cares about him, that's kind of the most important thing. But she's got to have herself put together and have confidence herself to be able to, you know, inspire him in that way. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
And know that you contribute to the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what size or age you are the other half and the contributor of that relationship.
That's right.
He doesn't dominate you and she doesn't dominate you. You know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes, especially women, feel like they're not valued anymore if they turn a certain age, or their body gets to be a certain way, or they're pregnant. You know, all of a sudden it's like out the window goes every bit of self-worth.
Oh, and I think that happened to me. I mean, I gained weight when I had my children, and so it's like, you know, then you're not thinking that you can look sexy in an outfit.
Right.
That is something. I thought that self-esteem is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then you're focused on your babies. So, and that is where a lot of couples start slipping.
Yeah.
They start growing differently and growing
Yeah.
apart. And, you know, even men have said to me, I don't care that she's gained the weight. I don't care that she's wanting the lights off now. I just care that she allows me to be intimate with her again.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women, again, we're so focused on how we think we look. He's going to think that of us too. I'm telling you, if he loves you, he's not going to care. He's going to want your health to be primarily first. But trust me, you're harder on yourself than he really is.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I mean, I hear all the time. I know we share some stuff, but
Yep.
like my guy is Kelly, and you know, and he'll say to me, "Man, I've fallen more for who you are in your heart than anything you've ever done or what you look like." Now, you know, I've heard that shit before.
Yeah.
But it's different. I mean, in this situation, what I want y'all to learn is be friendly with the person in the mirror. In other words, sometimes what happens when we look in the mirror, we see things 1D. We see,
One-dimensional.
I'm 52 and I got a zit, or I hate the way my butt looks, or you literally could go and you see 1D. You only see what is coming back at you.
Yeah.
When I look at you, or that person, I see 3D. I see beyond what the surface image is.
We all do. Really, we all do. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
I mean,
we do.
really,
Yeah,
we do as humans, whether it's in a positive or negative way, we do that. But what we need to learn to do is look at ourselves in a 3D vision. What is more, there's more about you
Yeah.
than just what you're looking back at.
That's right. That's right. Well, and again, the older we get, the more important the internal stuff really is anyway,
Yeah.
truthfully. Yeah.
I mean, because you've said many times that not only your intelligence, but you would not trade the wisdom that you have because of your age.
Nope.
Because she is so much older than me, y'all.
Actually, it's not true. But yeah, she's older.
And your experience, and I'm the same way. Oh my gosh, when I think I had my shit together,
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, when you thought you were smart, you weren't smart.
I know. And I listened to some of my older kids, and I just go,
Yeah.
let me pet you.
Yeah, you're so smart.
You got it down.
We'll figure that out later. Yeah. The message really is love yourself as you are. You're the only one that really can. And when I do it with healing work with people, it really is up to them to stop their own pain. You know, we can't go back in time and change history and change the story.
No.
You can, though, from this point forward, accept you as you are and move forward and make yourself better.
Yeah.
I'm all for nip and tucking, hair, makeup. I'm going to always work at looking my best. But I'm not going to stop leaving the house if I have gained 5 pounds or lost 5 pounds. I'm not going to let that stop me. If you let things stop you that you think are just fatal flaws, that's where you're limiting your life. And we all have an internal state. Our internal dialogue is not usually ever nice. Have you noticed that?
I mean, that's why 97% of women dislike what they look like.
That's it. And so we're always in this chronic complaining negativity about ourselves. And I know that. And I have that. I just turn down the volume.
I like that.
Yeah, I just turn down the volume and I just keep on performing, moving forward, and getting out there. What else am I going to do, right?
You know, and that's the part that this article is really focusing is stop not allowing yourself to have joy and happiness right now because you're so focused on your negative. And really what happens is we kind of, that brushes off to our other loved ones, whether it's your husband or
you created that space.
Your children all of a sudden. I mean, how many times have you heard women go, oh, I can't wear that, I look too fat? Well, that language is now being told to your daughter.
Oh yeah, they're picking up on that.
You know, and I had to teach my kids, but primarily I was focusing on my 2 girls. I will never teach you how to diet. I will teach you how to eat correctly. And then you make a choice how you want to eat. But your knowledge will know this is what's best for my body.
Yep.
Now my kids they all eat clean.
And they eat good veggies. That's right.
I mean they've learned how to treat the body and not worry about the image. However, you know, they're still girls, you know, and even
they want to be attractive.
Even my son last night was like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't find a suit that fits, and so I do think when kids are, I call them kids because they're not married and whatever,
kids,
and even when, you know, young marrieds, freaking old, younger than us, when they're kind of in that mode of it's time to find a spouse, whether they want to or not, you just kind of
you want to look your best.
Yeah,
because the initial part of attraction is visual.
Right.
Yeah,
but you've got to be able to say you're actually okay whether you have the body you want or you don't.
Yep.
And sometimes you need to take a break from social media. If you're finding that your self-esteem is based on likes, maybe it's time to get off.
Good idea. Really good idea.
Because the truth is, how many people are on you? I'm talking to us. How many people do you follow or who follow you? You don't really know.
Oh,
you don't. I have 4,000 friends on Facebook, and I promise you, I don't know all of them. You don't really know. And I remember when my daughter competed at Miss USA, and she's an athletic built.
Yes,
you know,
yes, she is. Yeah.
She's been a dancer her whole life, and when she goes to the gym, she's very athletic.
Right.
So her body type wasn't skinny runway like a lot of people were used to seeing pageant people look like. And the people that were coming at her on social media.
It was harsh. I remember that.
Big boned. I mean, they just had the adjectives. And finally, I was like, I've had a gutful. I'm going to speak as a mom.
And you did. I remember that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I got to going. And I just said, all of you out there that push send, come before me and tell me the last time you got in a swimsuit on a stage in front of millions of people.
Thank you.
Tell me the number of kids that commit suicide every day because they don't feel good about themselves. Yeah? You tell me, see, it's coming out in me right now. You tell me that your words are not hurting somebody. And yet we don't know you. We don't know what you look like. And by the way, there's no such thing as a pageant expert. There's no such thing as a model expert. Nobody is considered a professional to get, that title.
I agree. I
so
totally
when
agree.
you are shaming 20-something-year-old girls, by golly, you know what? They got to that.
And it's going to sting for a long time.
Yeah, it hurts. You know, it hurts, and it's bullying. And so...
Well, and I wonder if the whole pageant world ain't that. I mean, you know, I I danced when I was younger. I
Yeah.
was, me and my sisters, we were in dance and we were performing all the time in tutus and little things, and all through high school I danced.
Yeah, so you had that body image going.
I had that body image going, and it's almost like I don't put myself out there and set myself up for that, but I do think, this whole world of the performing, being performing, looking at, and it is a physical thing.
Yeah.
And then it's everything at one moment in your life. Because when you were, when you're competing, that was all that was real for you, right?
That was
and same with your daughter.
Yeah.
And that was a huge moment in time. And then to have all that energy, emotional energy, kind of collapse on you, it's
just, what, she
big.
had never been in a situation where so many people
We're
that she
looking at.
didn't know.
Yeah.
It was even stuff like she lost because she wore her hair up. And finally I piped in and I go, I'm speaking as a former judge at Miss USA. I could care. Nobody's going to lose because they wore their hair up.
No.
You talk about wanting to, the whole package is a character and then the icing on top. Because and you see this all the time. You can have a beautiful man or woman, but if they are a piece of shit or an ass, man, you see right through that.
That's right.
If they're not genuine,
That's right.
if they don't have clean motives in their lives
No.
or dealing or their
They're
integrity.
con artists that still, I don't care if they're good looking at all. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you get people that are hating on, girls that are in pageant. By golly, they're doing their best.
Yeah.
They're not purposely getting up there trying to say a stupid answer. That that's part of competition. And then they go off on him and just think, man, what do you look like?
Right.
Show your face.
They're behind the computer.
Listen, I'm a Taurus and a Texan. Do not piss me off.
We can all hit send and say stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Wrapping up your thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are, I wasted a lot of time worried about whatever people thought of me and what I thought of myself, and it doesn't really matter. At the end of your life, what's going to matter is what you have created and what you're proud of and your relationships. And people aren't just going to love you because you look good. That is about that deep, y'all. It's as deep as your skin. At some point, what really matters is true love, true relationships, and being your word inside of these commitments. And those things are hard. That's where life is harder, is actually honoring people and honoring yourself.
Yeah.
So take on honoring yourself, and say some nice things to yourself, because that internal state's not probably going to be nice to you.
Yeah, and especially if you have years of talking down to that mirror.
Well, people that drink and do drugs and stuff, I tell you, the number one conversation they have with themselves, and I've talked to a lot of people that do drugs, they think they don't matter.
Yeah.
They think, I don't matter anyway, so it's not going to bother if I go drink or do drugs.
Well, and you get that. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that. You can get people that say, he or she doesn't notice me, so why should I care what I look like?
Yeah.
Right? And it isn't a matter of what he and she thinks about you.
What do you think?
What do you feel?
That's right.
Because, people...
That's right.
I listen, I'm spilling the beans. People look at me and they go, you got this and this going. Aging has been hard on me.
Thank you.
Because I live in a world that is so
all about
focused
image, girl.
on you get a job if you look the part or if you
So I'm saying, and that's why I call liability. I mean, you're a model. You're on TV. If you don't look like you need to look, you're in trouble.
And people turn. Even, when going back to Miss USA last year, I hadn't been back in a long time, and everybody knew not only was my daughter, but now, 1801 Miss USA is going to be here, and it was all a matter of, well, what does she look like?
Right.
How much weight has she gained? Is she sagging? Is she old? Is she, whatever. And I went through that whole thing like, oh my gosh.
And girl, you are so disciplined and so obedient to your plan. It's impressive. It really is inspiring.
Well,
you do walk your talk. Yeah, that is where you are masterful.
You know what? I am. Boy, if you really told me to go lick the cat litter box, I would. Camille, if you were like, honey, I need you to do that, I'd be like, okay.
Oh, Lord.
But you know what?
I'm working on it. I know. It's silly, but I know I'm working on it. Just give me some more time. Give me some more time.
She talked about her pit sting, and it was her breath.
Oh, my God.
You know what? But just wrapping up, it's a constant talk that you have with yourself. It really is. I mean, I never at a point that I go, Gretchen, I just love everything about you. Because I'm competitive and I want to be the best and I want to, you know what I'm saying? And I can't. I will never be able to go like, I'm okay, just letting it all get saggy and stuff. I will fight it till I die.
I'll fight it till I die too.
Listen,
but I'm not going to
when
let
I'm in a coma, come here, I'm going to have a chin here right now. I need you get that for me.
I promise I'll trim your little whisker. And you best get my wispies.
Joanna, help, 911.
Oh my gosh. Aren't women amazing? Aren't we amazing? I mean, because we do. We all want to look our best.
Y'all. Let's laugh at it. You know, laugh at it. But then in the end,
accept
love
yourself. Yeah.
Man,
Love
that
and
is my mom always said that's the biggest insult to God is when you hate on yourself. He created you.
The final thought, honestly, what love really is true acceptance.
Yeah.
When you accept someone as they are, flaws and all, warts and all, they are grateful for that. So just accept yourself as you are.
And chances are, when you realize how much that person is accepting you, let the guard down and accept yourself. We appreciate y'all listening to us today. You know, if there's anything that we have said that resonates and you feel like, I know somebody or I know that person that would really benefit, just share. We appreciate it. You know, we want to grow with you. And we need your help. So thank you so much for being with us. Shock Talking will be back at another time. Until then, have a great day.
Bye.
Did you see the lights?
Yeah.
Bye.
And you got to turn
and now I got to go like
You're
this.
manually.